Hi, everyone. This is Heather Newman, community reporter for ESPC. I am principal PM manager of the Dynamics 365 Empower Platform Community Success Team, and I am thrilled to be here with Karuana Gatimu. Hello, Karuana.
Hello, Heather. How are you?
Good. That seems so formal. I'm totally like, hey, how are you and what's up?
I know, right? Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, so we're doing just a short video to just check in with the ESPC, tell everybody hello, and I know that so Kara, want to tell everybody what you do, your official title and all of that.
Oh, sure. I'm a principal PM manager too, and I run the customer advocacy group in Teams Engineering. And we do a ton of work around feedback and product quality and community management for Teams and the rest of the Microsoft 365 ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a while since I've seen you for reals.
I know, right? We used to be at ESPC together
Yes.
in person. And so I definitely miss that. It's been fun to be on the platform with everyone and give my sessions and what have you. I'm
Yep.
doing a couple of them live because I just can't stand the recordedness of everything. I feel like I can stay up late. Come on.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. I know there's a few 3 a.m. moments, but it's all good,
Yes,
So
yes,
that's awesome.
exactly.
Well, we were going to talk about, you and I've been doing ESPC together for a while. And
Yeah.
you Ireland? Was that your first one?
I think Dublin. I was listening to Jeff's keynote and he
Hmm.
was talking about his first one was in 2015 in like Stockholm. And I didn't go to that one.
Okay. Yep.
I know in particular. And so I think the very next year, 2016, was in Dublin. And that was my first CSPC.
Absolutely. I was in Stockholm, and I think there was one before that that I was in too. But yeah, but anyway, long story short, just such a great event. And thank you to everybody, to all of the sponsors and everybody who worked so hard to put it on. Like these events are no joke even when they're digital. I don't know, sometimes they're even more work, I think, than the physical
I
one.
think so. I think, yeah, absolutely. A big shout out to the team who's been making this happen, and everyone for really leaning in this very, different time that we're in.
Yeah.
I do feel like, really driving engagement in a digital event is even harder than it is in person because you're competing with everything else in that person's life
Yep.
for their eyeballs and their attention. And we talk about that in our virtual event best practices session that I'm going to be giving because you really have to think about your content differently than when we're in person. And you can kind of rely on that in person engagement that happens when people are traveling and focused on just you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Caroline and I have for the last few years, we've been doing sort of a series, if you will, of workshops, of diversity and inclusion workshops at ESPC that have been really fun, networking, mentoring. Gosh, we've done all kinds of topics, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, we really have. And I love that because for me, all of these community driven events are really about giving back. I feel very blessed and privileged, as I know you do. We share this of our privilege of getting to work at Microsoft and do the work we love. And so one of the things we get to do is give back to that community and help other people along the path that, you and I have been lucky to traverse. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun work.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had lots of folks in to keynote the lunches and all of that as well for women in tech. And so Mary Rodriguez has been in, and Donna Suckar, and so lots of friends who I think we've shared stages now hosting. We're doing a lot of hosting, which is fun.
Yes. Yes, we are. I even got to do the keynote at that luncheon one year. That was really fun. And it's just powerful to have all the women in technology together, talking about our perspective and our journey. And there's so much talent and creativity in that portion of the community. The entire community is very talented.
Yeah.
But I always really enjoy hanging out with women in tech because we do have a little bit of a different experience and definitely a different perspective that we bring to the table in the way that we solution, in the way that we architect, in the way that we drive adoption, in the way that we manage people. It's just a little bit different way, different approach. And so, I enjoy not being the only one in the room
Yeah,
for once.
absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, I've been in conversations with folks in the community. You touched on this in the beginning of just, you know, uh, that extra bit of time that one has, in the moments during the day. People make choices about, where you spend your time, right? And time and energy, good health are things we don't get back, right? And thinking about, all of the stuff that's coming out recently about work-life balance and, all of the things that have come out, Jared's been talking about. For you, how are you seeing sort of the community? And I think folks are tired, a little tired and a little,
Yeah, I agree.
like,
I do think people are a little bit tired. I think I'm
mhm,
glad that the summer is coming where hopefully we can all recharge a
yeah,
little bit. I think
mhm,
it's been a long 15, 16 months. I think
yeah,
that this is, the psychological and emotional toll of having to work from home during a global pandemic and balance everything, also all the other societal changes that have been going on, certainly speaking from a US perspective, I think
mhm,
does take its toll. And I think it's important that we understand that even though we can drive productivity and what have you, people are people and they do have other
yeah,
things happening in their life. So, even for me, I love these events. I do a lot of them
yep,
around the world, even the Microsoft events, but I am looking forward to my vacation. And one tip I'll tell you is turn off your notifications on your phone. I know we can all ignore them, but it's just better to turn them off for whatever
yep,
period you find yourself out of the office because it just psychologically gives you some freedom. And I think that's what people need is some psychological rest. Even if you're not physically resting, I'm going to be active, I'm going to be out doing things,
yep.
but I'm resting psychologically from work and work related topics. And for me, that's going to be rejuvenative.
Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about that myself, and also took a vacation.
Yeah,
Like took a few
it's
days
important.
off, and I
Yep.
feel like someone asked me today that, I want to take this day off, but I'm worried about this and that, and I was like, take your vacation.
Yeah.
Like we
Right.
take vacations. We need to do that, and as managers, we need to
Right.
do that as an example, right?
Right,
You know.
exactly. And yeah, it's absolutely about setting an example. But I will say that I think my team is tired of me saying, book your vacation days. And another thing I've been saying a lot to my team is take one thing off your plate.
Mm,
We cannot do it all. And I
yeah.
think now more than ever, it's becoming, super clear that there's more work than any of us will ever get done in a lifetime.
Yep.
So, prioritize. I do pride myself on being ruthless in my prioritization of my work about what is going to have the most impact on people, as well
Right.
as what I enjoy, and what is going to be most helpful to the community at large and to our customers. And so, take one thing off your plate. I guarantee that that thing at the bottom of your to-do list that's been there for a whole quarter, it's not going to get done. Just accept it. Just accept it and cross it out because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think for me, there's something freeing at taking things off my to-do list. And my team has actually been pretty happy that that's what I've been saying because I really feel like I'm the guardian of their well-being as their manager,
Mhm.
and they're all very dedicated people,
Yep.
and they will, like your team, overwork themselves if left unattended.
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta give those like, come on, okay, okay,
Yep. A
Um,
little
I was
boundary.
yes, I was thinking about sort of a year ago where we were. Uh, you know, uh, I worked with Caruana on some projects before taking this role on the Power Platform and Dynamics 365 team, which it'll be a year next week for me.
Wow,
You
that's
believe that?
amazing. You
Yeah.
said a year ago, and I have to tell you that my eye has started twitching. I think that is my reaction to where we were a year ago. I really, as I look back at,
Yeah.
last March, April, May,
Mm-hmm.
I've never worked like that in my entire life under
Yeah.
such really intense circumstances. And
Mhm.
what some people may not know about me or my team is that we also support government, healthcare, and
Yep.
nonprofits as the industries that we support directly on my team. And
Yep.
that was true before the pandemic. So you can imagine, we kind of became the world's 911 operators for how do I use Microsoft Teams to
Yeah.
manage this chaos. And so it was very, very intense. And the further away I get from it, the more I look back at the amazing work that so many people did around the world to meet that demand.
Yeah.
And, I had that privilege of running our coronavirus response team and just the dedication of people, the 24 by 7 work that it took to scale the service, and now here we are this time
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
And, it almost feels as if we know what we're doing in this remote workplace world.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like people understand how to work and they may not like it, but we
Right.
do understand how to do it, which was not true, 15 months ago.
Yeah.
Now I think we're about to go into more uncharted territory. And I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about that in my keynote, right? The
Okay.
uncharted territory of the future and what that really means for employee wellness and productivity and hybrid
Right.
work. So check it out. Come visit, shameless plug for my keynote. Um,
That's why we're here. It's all
that's
good. Yeah.
right. That's right. But it's important that people realize that we don't know really what comes next. And so we need to work together to listen to each other, to listen to our customers, to figure out what is going to be the best way to keep people feeling included as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That feedback loop is so important. And I think you all do such a good job with that. I think the engineering team is great at that for sure.
We try. We definitely try. And, it's one of the things we've seen in our big events that we do at Microsoft. Registration and participation in those huge events has really gone through the roof. And there are people who have come to events like Ignite and
Yeah.
Build and MBAS, Microsoft Business Application Summit and others that never would have gotten to travel to our events if they were in person.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about some of the upside of that.
Yeah.
We need to figure out, what does that hybrid event look like? What does it look
Yep.
like when some people are there and some people aren't? I feel like it's going to be pretty interesting. So,
Yeah. I'm excited. So you have, your virtual events session, and also obviously the playbook that is still up on adoption.microsoft.com. But then also talking to you about, and I think it's just I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, but how we're going to work together on a user group playbook as
yes, I'm
well.
really excited about that. I think that that's really important
Hmm.
because user groups and these champion communities and people really getting together and having peer-driven knowledge, which is what we call it, right?
Hmm.
Is so important now more than ever because people really want to learn from people that they trust and know. I
Yep.
mean, you and I can go out and present all day long, and that's
Yep.
wonderful, and people listen to us, but they're really going to listen to Sally, who used to sit 3 rows from them, who
Yep.
they know, and they don't feel embarrassed to ask questions in front of.
Yep.
And so setting up these user groups for people to share knowledge, and then going back into your organization, setting up champions groups, it's really important. And I know across Europe, I think they can be advocates, ambassadors, coaches. There's a lot of different terms for that, but the two things go together so well, and I'm excited. And I love working with you, so we get to do something fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really fun to watch the, journey of the community tenant as well, you know?
Yes, exactly. And, we set up that infrastructure so that user group and community leaders would have a place to home all of their, user group meetings on Microsoft technology. And it does dual duty, right? It gives us an opportunity to get feedback on how the services are working and the way that they're set up. And then when something new like Microsoft Viva comes along, we can light it up in that community tenant and people get an opportunity to be hands-on with it the way it quote unquote should be configured, right? We do best practices in my tenant, of course. And the team that runs it, they're fantastic. They really think through everything and they just do such a great job. So, that tenant is going to go broad for even more user communities over these next couple of quarters. And us working on this together for the
Yeah.
Power Platform folks is really amazing. So it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so I just thank you for your partnership there. I'm very excited about that with our new user group experience for Power Platform and Dynamics 365 on our community platform, and then partnering with you with the community tenant. Super excited. So all of you who are like, "What is that?" Yeah, check it out. We can we'll put some information up. But I know ESPC has it on Twitter, but it's you can go to aka.mswacug actually and get all the information you want about that. So there you go.
There you
So
go. Right.
yeah, awesome.
Nice AKA there.
Thanks. I like to bust in an AKA when I have a moment.
Absolutely. Well, I'm the queen of AKA links. So yeah, exactly. No, it's all about getting that message out
Yep.
and helping people to do the work
Yep.
and really excited that we'll be able to also do some more new content in our service adoption specialist course that's going to be
Awesome.
coming out next quarter as well. We're working on that right now, and it's going to
Cool.
include things like how to adopt Power Platform or Power Automate and how to
Yay.
do fun things like that. And so, that's now available on Microsoft Learn. And we're happy that we've moved now into the Microsoft Learn umbrella, and
Yeah.
that adoption specialist is a role out there, which is important to me to define that as a role
Yeah.
and as a skill set. because
Yeah,
goodness knows the industry needs more people to be able to do this kind of work.
absolutely. Well, right on. Well, I'm going to wrap us up and say thank you for that.
You are so welcome. I'm
Yeah,
really happy to be a part of ESPC again. And, yes, you can search for all my sessions by my name or my team members, Josh Leparati and Brian Nice and Sean Wilson. All these folks are bringing you great content for Microsoft Teams engineering and beyond. And we hope you enjoy it.
awesome. Yep. Thank you, everybody. This is Heather Newman and Karuana Gatimu. Have a great rest of your conference and take care, everybody. Yeah. How about that? Some hearts. Yay.
Bye bye.